Hey YouTube mob, what we've got here is a BS-7L metal bandsaw from Hare Forbes. Not sponsored, this is my own purchase. So as you can see, that's what it looks like down there. What we're going to do, unbox and set it up, maybe make a few cuts, see how accurate it is straight out of the box. Now one of these is probably, it's about as big as what I guess a home consumer would go, just for a home, like home workshop, home gamer. And this is the biggest one you can get that stands vertically and actually turns into a vertical bandsaw, as well as being able to do a hydraulic lowered cut. So it's pretty versatile. Let's get it out of the box and see what it's like. Alright, so that's that's the somewhat anemic vertical plate. There's a couple of bars in here that I don't know what they're for yet. And there's some guide pulleys, and that's obviously the plastic cover. As you can see, it's variable speed. Alright, she's all pretty well set up, ready to go. I guess there's a couple of things that we can have a quick look at before we kick it in the guts. Okay, the first one is the instruction manual, and it's pretty impressive. It's all in English and it is extremely comprehensive. There's everything you possibly want to know in here. All the information about blade, speeds, pitches, types, everything's all in here, all in the charts, how to set it up, all the adjustments. It just goes on and on and on. It really is a wealth of information. So if you've never used one of these before, like myself, then there's plenty in here, and of course YouTube's always a wealth of information. There's even the wiring diagrams for it all the switching, more wiring diagrams, and then the whole thing has exploded diagrams for every part. and all the reordering numbers for anything to break. So honestly, excellent manual. We'll have a quick look at the coolant lubricating reservoir. It's got a nice little chip pan in there. I don't know if you can see in there, but the pump is pretty much right on the bottom of the tank, which is good. And also the tank has this baffle in the middle to stop any fines getting over to the pump. So that it's quite impressive. There's a little return line there. You get this little screen as well. Little removable screen goes in there. That's a nice touch. And the pump's got its own on-off controls down here. I'm just going to chuck 10 litres in it to start with. Quick look at ease of blade replacement. So there's this screw here, this one here, that got to come out of the way there, and there's your blade. So that access is pretty good. Got your adjustment there, you just wind that down and the blade just pops straight out. Beauty, piece of cake. And nothing overly special about the vise. It's got an awesome depth of cut there. I don't know, what would that be? Hang on. We're going millimetrics. 300. That's probably what it says in the specs, I suppose. Close enough. Not quite 300, 280. And by the time we take the saw guide fully retracted, like so, there's plus 300. Excellent. Alrighty. Now we've also got, of course, the hydraulic lowering control system. Which is controlled by this little knob here. Okay, that was probably that was a little bit fast, wasn't it? Okay, there we go. It's more like it. So that's pretty well infinitely controllable. Of course, you just lift it up, control the rate of feed however you want it, and turn it off with the switch. When it's off, you can lift it up, turn it on, and it starts the controlled rate of descent or the cut depth. There's also a handy little depth gauge here if you want to do repetitive cuts. There's a handy little blade guide here, and of course a very shiny HafCos, Hare Forbes. Lots of warnings. The only chintzy thing on the whole thing is probably this guard is a bit how you doing. Sort of needs another bracket. There is another hole here, so maybe I'll make a bracket that goes across to one of these motor mounts or something just to stiffen that up a little bit. That'll probably vibrate, I reckon. All right, I think we've pretty much had a look at it all. So I reckon we'll bolt a piece of steel in there and we will make a cut. What do you reckon? Oh, a motor. 0.75 kilowatts, which is about a horsepower in the old money. 240 volts single phase. Looks like there's a reset button there. That's your drive gearbox in there. That's all exploded view. You can have a look at that in the manual. And of course it's got a automatic kill switch there, so that as it drops, it's got a little adjustable stop, but also, there you go, stops the motor. Let's cut. Hare Forbes. Do it now. There you go. That water's going to make quite a bit of a mess. It's kind of splashing around everywhere. Cutting time. Let's see what we can find. Right, no point starting off with something small. It's a piece of hydraulic ram, shaft, piston rod, I don't know, what do you call it? I'm not going to cut it where it's chrome, that's just asking for trouble. Rightio, I used the trusty thread gauge to measure the teeth, so it's around 6 TPI. Rightio, we're ready to rumble. So we've got 6 TPI blade. That's for 50mm carbon steel, mild carbon steel. These hydraulic ram shafts are only mild steel. We're going to run it at 160 feet per minute. It says we can go up to 230, but we'll run it at 160. And we've just got to watch the chips to see how they come out. Rightio, let's do it. Let's turn that on. Let's turn that on. I have no idea how fast we're supposed to drop. Righty, yeah, there we go. We'll whack this out, we'll whack the square on it and see how accurately it cut. That's a pretty nice surface finish on there, I've got to say. I probably was running it a bit slow, I was running it well on the conservative side. Let's go with the old machinist square on here. Oops, way too close, sorry. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Oh, where do you think you're going? What was the diameter out? I think it's about 60 mil, something like that. And that would have taken probably about 10 minutes to cut through that. And like I say, I was going pretty conservatively. So that's, we'll call it 63 mil in 10 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty nice. And the chip coming off there, yeah, I think I could have maybe driven it a little bit harder than that, but we don't want to push it, we're still learning. What I did forget to mention is that it comes with this this little test sample here. Hang on, it's a bit dark, isn't it? So 0.87, 1.2, 1, oh, there's a bit of swarth there, ignore that, 0.95, I think they're 0.14, I think it was a bit more than that. Oh no, what was the biggest we got? 0.13. I think it was probably a bit closer to 0.2 myself, but yeah, more than accurate enough. Rightio, hope you found that interesting. The old HafCos Metal Masters bandsaw. Catch you later.